Good evening and welcome back to Falcon Update here on YBTV. I'm Brian Schermeyer.
And I'm JC Seltzer.
Taking a look at COVID-19 stats, the total number of confirmed positive student cases is 54 with 36 recovered, and the total number of positive employee cases is 13 with 8 recovered. As Easter break approaches, students are encouraged to stay on campus. If it is essential to leave campus, students should still wear a mask and maintain social distancing if possible, as well as continuing to complete the daily temperature checks, of course. For more information on stats, students can check out the COVID-19 dashboard on the Messiah University website. For students who are vaccinated, there is new information released about campus requirements in a recent mass email from the Integration and Response team. Stay safe, Messiah.
After months of setbacks due to COVID-19 and asbestos, the total demolition of Hoffman Hall officially began on Wednesday afternoon. A large demolition claw machine was brought to the site early last week, and the claws soon began tearing down Hoffman, beginning with the roof and working down floor by floor. As the demolition crews tore down the walls of Hoffman, students gathered around the site and at Lottie Nelson Dining Hall on their way to classes, just to get a glimpse of the process. Demolition crews have been careful with the process to protect students passing by, tearing down small chunks and using water hoses to help control the dust and debris. The total demolition of the building should be completed in the next few weeks before the site can be cleared and the basement can be backfilled to develop the new green space.
Recently, 2 men entered campus to film a prank video. We go to Marie Miller with the story.
Last week, an emergency notification was sent out to students through an email informing them that 2 individuals were seen on campus approaching students and asking them profane questions.
Despite Messiah being closed to the public, these men entered campus and began approaching students while impersonating a public safety officer. They handed out fake parking tickets down by the breaches and entered the library to approach students there. Bryce Wickard from Public Safety tells us more.
We had a report from a student that was in the library that these unknown persons approached the student and began to ask questions that were of a pretty intense sexual nature.
After approaching the students, the 2 men went back and said that they were filming a prank video for YouTube. Public Safety is working on issuing a campus ban for these 2 men and the other members of their YouTube group. A campus ban means that if they are seen on campus, they can be charged with criminally trespassing. One of the students, who was approached in the library, spoke to YBTV about her experience.
And I walked down to safety, and I was really prepared to defend myself over what I was wearing, what I was doing, why I was alone. But they didn't make me feel bad about myself at all. They've kept me in the loop about how Messiah is progressing on this. I feel like Messiah handled it better than I thought they would.
According to Public Safety, the 2 men, pictured here, should not be considered a threat to students.
If you see these 2 men on campus, immediately call Public Safety Dispatch at 717-691-6005. For YBTV, I'm Marie Miller.
Thanks, Marie. Messiah held a civil discourse panel that sparked good conversation among students. Here's PJ Rydell with the story.
I'm here at Hostetter Chapel, where the Student Government Association hosted their civil discourse panel for political reconciliation.
The panel, comprised of students and faculty from various departments, offered their unique perspectives on the topic of division created by politics. The various perspectives allow for attendees and panelists to learn from others.
I think these events are very, very key and critical because you have a good selection of speakers from many perspectives, and folks who attend these meetings learn a lot. I learn a lot even from the questions that are asked of us. It forces us to think in new ways.
The panel on political division allowed for students and faculty alike to recognize their differences and unite in conversation about a topic that has affected everyone.
This brings an opportunity to involve many different disciplines within the schools, where we can all come together and speak about a common topic, something as relevant as political divide, in which all of us have experienced, whether directly or indirectly.
Through events like this, Messiah University hopes that students can become more aware of political differences and not allow them to come between one another. Reporting for YBTV, I'm PJ Rydell.
Students were able to have some fun this past weekend with an SGA-sponsored carnival event. Nolan Hogenboom has the story.
I'm here outside the Larson Student Union, where students are having fun with carnival events put on by SGA. A night of fun to be had by all as students ate popcorn and cotton candy and played carnival games such as balloon darts, ring toss, a slack rope, an egg race, cornhole, a basketball game, and more, with their winning tickets to be entered into a raffle.
It's just a way to have fun on a weekend, sort of keep people on campus, but sort of keep us engaged with the community, doing fun things with their friends in a safe way. So yeah, this is a great time to have fun. Definitely food's always an incentive that gets students out of their dorm rooms and out doing events, and then they see all the fun things they can have fun with, and they come out here and stay. So I would say big hit so far.
There you have it, all the fun and games of a carnival right here on Messiah's campus. For YBTV, I'm Nolan Hoganboom.
Thanks, Nolan. The Student Activities Board held their Cozy Corner event in the Larson Student Union. The event was inspired by a TikTok video, and students were invited to come and make their own chunky knit blankets and enjoy some free refreshments. This is the second Cozy Corner event of the year, as last semester's event ended up being extremely popular. This semester, it was no different. Although spots were limited because of COVID-19 protocols, registration was fully only 15 minutes after opening. 25 students participated in the event, using the time to de-stress and safely connect with others.
What's better than a TV show? A Messiah fashion show. Here is once again Nolan Hoganboom with the story.
On Saturday, fashion-minded students showed off their outfits in SAB's Street Style show. 5 awards were given out. Tyler McNair won Best Shoe Game, McBowman won Best Hairstyle, Sarah Wallitzer won Most Creative, Hannah Domaraki won Best Ensemble, and Liliana Mora won Most Bold. Even Addie took a stroll down the catwalk. In addition to the main show, participants and attendees alike could decorate their own sunglasses or headbands, and there were stations to learn more about fast fashion and the impact of the LGBT+ community on fashion.
I'm so excited. I've been planning this event for months, and I'm really excited for people to get to show off their style and just get to enjoy a Saturday of fun and sun.
Overall, a fun way to showcase Messiah's personal style. For YBTV, I'm Nolan Hoganboom.
We have more Falcon Update after the break. Stay tuned.
It's now officially rebranded as Yellow Breeches TV.
A student would want to study the finance major here at Messiah for several reasons. Students here are working and practicing in a setting in our finance lab with technology that they're going to use when they leave here and work in the field. And so our students are certified in Bloomberg. In addition, in several classes, our students are actually performing consulting projects with local financial and investing firms.
I think the biggest thing that surprised me about coming for the finance major here was just the scope that you get in all the different classes. So anything from corporate finance to portfolio management and security analysis, you touch on everything. Getting into investment club was something I really was looking forward to coming here to Messiah. I knew from very early on I wanted to get involved.
There's nothing wrong with going out, being successful, making money, but not allowing money to have a higher place in your life than God. So our goal is to get our students started off on their career path quicker and better positioned than any of their peers.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I
Right?
mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did
Welcome back to Falcon Update live on YBTV. Messiah Spring Athletics are now in full swing. Let's take a look. The Messiah men's lacrosse team took a loss against conference foe Hood College on Wednesday night. Owen Joyce led all point scorers, tallying 4 points on 2 goals and 2 assists. The Blazers quickly jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first quarter, with Messiah trailing the host 7-3 heading into halftime. While Messiah began the fourth quarter strong with consecutive goals that pushed the score to 9-8, it was not enough. as Hood prevailed with a final score of 10-8. Despite the loss, Colin Webb and Nate Jelonsky notched their first career goals. The Falcons went on to host Alvernia University on Saturday.
The Messiah women's lacrosse team were back in action, taking on Hood College Wednesday night. In the first half, Emma Lytle from her hit gave the Falcons a 6-0 lead. She would go on to score 2 goals, which upped her season total to 10. In the very end of the first half, Abby Ellen Wood scored her second career goal and gave an assist to Rachel DeLate, who had 4 in the game. At the end of the game, Emily Reisinger, with an assist from Katie Heck, pushed the final victory score of 21-2 for Messiah. The women's lacrosse team were back in action on Saturday.
The Messiah baseball team wasted no time on Thursday against Albright College. Overall, the Falcons had 14 hits in the contest, which included 6 home runs. In the opening innings, Messiah did not hold back as they took an 8-0 lead in the top of the second. Thomas Murray led Messiah with 3 hits, while Timothy Glavin and Colt Price had 4 RBIs in the game. 4 pitchers combined for 11 strikeouts for Messiah, while only allowing 4 hits. Trent Culver struck out a pair in the bottom of the ninth to give the Falcons an 18-1 victory. The win moved Messiah to 3-6-1 in the season, and they took on LVC for a doubleheader on Saturday.
Still on a high from their win against Albright College on Thursday, the Messiah baseball team took on LVC for a doubleheader on Saturday. In Game 1, Billy Davis supplied the lone run scoring play during the top of the 5th inning. While the Dutchman had a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first, Luke Luckenball did not let up a run for the rest of the contest, banning a season-high 6 batters. The Falcons lost the game 2-1. In Game 2, the Falcons fell behind in the top of the 7th inning with a score of 11-0. Jared Bingaman put the capper on the inning with a 3-run home run to left center field, pushing the score to 11-5. However, the Dutchman had 3 more runs in the bottom of the 8th, bringing the final score to 14-5. This loss drops the Falcons to 3-8-1 on the season.
The men's volleyball team hosted the Alvernia Golden Wolves on Wednesday night. The Falcons would drop the first set 26-24, but they won number 2 with 25-20. Midway through set 3, Matt Nabb, who had a career-high 59 assists, falls but sets Mason Nisley for the kill. A few points later, Nate Bowman, right down the middle, gets the kill and drops the third set 25-23. Set 4, Nisley from the back row, looking here, gets the kill with a pass from Kuhl, who had a season high of 10 kills. Messiah unfortunately could not bounce back with a final loss of 3-2.
Continuing to dominate on offense this season, women's lacrosse took on Eastern University on Saturday. The Falcons jumped out to a quick 4-0 lead less than 5 minutes into the game. During the 9-1 run to start the game, Abby Howard and Hope Flack combined for 5 goals with a half-dozen Falcons scoring. In total, Messiah outshot the Eagles 35-9 in the game, including a 25-7 edge in the opening half. Messiah caused 16 turnovers while only giving up possession just 11 times in the contest. The women would dominate with a final score of 22-3. The women will travel to Stevens Institute of Technology on Tuesday.
The Messiah men's tennis team took on Wilkes University in their first match of the season on Saturday. In doubles play, the Falcons fell behind early after a loss at number 2, but the number 1 doubles win by Galen Fitzke and Andrew Bookman tied things up. Wilkes picked up their win at number 3 doubles that sent it to singles play with a lead of 2-1. In singles play, Jared Snader tied things up after a win at number 3 singles to make the score 2-2. Unfortunately for Messiah dropped courts 4, 5, and 6 for a final loss of 6-3. The Falcons will be back in action on Thursday against Lycoming College.
Men's lacrosse were back in action at home on Saturday against Eastern University. In the end of the first quarter, the Falcons are trailing behind, but Sam Stone gives the Falcons their first goal of the afternoon, bringing the score to 3-1. Falcons are down big at the end of the first half, but Christian Santagini comes in with a big goal. And not long after that, Nate Jelezinski gets it to Sam Stone for his second goal of the afternoon, which makes it 8-3 going into the half. At the end of the game, the Falcons are trailing before Owen Joyce loses it, but Seth Libby picks it up and scores. Unfortunately, it is not enough as the Falcons end the game with a loss of 17-8. They'll be back in action against Lycoming on Wednesday.
The women's tennis team took on the Wilkes Colonels for their home opener on Saturday afternoon. They were unable to come away with the win, dropping an 8-1 decision and falling to 0-2 on the season. Hannah Olsen picked up her first career win as the Falcons' only singles win of the day. Rebecca Adams and Casey Cognac played well, but dropped an 8-7 decision to the ones from Wilkes. They will be back in action on Thursday afternoon against Lycoming.
The softball team took on the Eastern Eagles for a doubleheader on Saturday. Starting in the bottom of the third, Elena Rosas bombs one into left field for her first career home run for the Falcon lead. Now we jump to the bottom of the fifth with the same score, and Rosas goes yard again for the 2-0 lead, where the Falcons would continue to expand, winning Game 1 5-0. To Game 2 now, Mackenzie Shannon hits a little pop fly just behind the first baseman and brings home 2 runs for the early Falcon lead. In the bottom of the sixth now, hits her first career home run and a solo shot to left field. They finished the game with a 3-0 win, moving to 4-6 on the season. They'll be back in action this week as their games on Sunday were postponed.
The swim team hosted Arcadia College on Saturday. Andrew Leeper, Isaac McCabe, Andrew Roberti, and Mark Lukens led the way for the men, winning the men's 400-yard medley relay. McCabe also won 3 individual events to lead the way for the men to win the meet 139-104. For the women, 7 different Falcons won their events to propel them to a 154-73 victory. Sophie Scholes led the way in the 400 free. Both teams moved to 2-0 on the season and will be back in the pool at home for the MAC championship meet.
We have more Falcon Update after the break. Don't go anywhere.
So people ask me what kind of companies hire electrical and computer engineers. Basically, if you plug it in or it has a battery in it, electrical engineers were involved. Every Messiah engineering student is guaranteed an internship with an on-campus organization called the Collaboratory. The Collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world. One of our more successful projects is a project that involves facilitating use of limited electric power called EMMS.
So I am the student project manager of the EMMS team, and so what that means is that I head up a team of students and industry volunteers who are developing a system that makes it possible for schools and medical clinics to be able to efficiently share their limited solar power resources. Just the faculty and the way that they interact with the students to help them grow is such a powerful thing.
Forests bring people together, feed the soul, and improve our well-being, cleaning the water we need, the air we breathe, and making our climate livable. Fires and natural disasters devastate our forests each year. That's why the Arbor Day Foundation is working to replant millions of trees across the country. Visit arborday.org and see how you can help.
You're watching Falcon Update live on Messiah University's Yellow Breeches Television.
Welcome back to Falcon Update live on YBTV. We go to Josh McLeaf with this week's campus calendar.
I'm Josh McLeaf here with this week's campus calendar. Because of COVID-19 restrictions, events on campus may look different from before, but that doesn't mean there aren't plenty of ways to get involved. Here are some exciting virtual and in-person opportunities to look out for in the upcoming week. This week's Tuesday morning chapel will feature Katie Dietz, who will discuss missionaries from afar. The service will take place at 9:30 a.m. in Palmer Hall, and tickets are free but required for in-person attendance as usual. If you're unable to attend in person, the recording will be posted by Thursday, April 1st. With Easter only a few days away, organizations around campus are planning to provide students with plenty of opportunities to worship and connect with one another. On Thursday, April 1st, Campus Ministries will be hosting a Maundy Thursday service dedicated to remembering the last evening Jesus shared with his disciples before the crucifixion. Led by Dr. Stephen Gallagher, the service will combine scripture, prayers, moments of silence, and Holy Communion for an evening of reflection and worship. The service will take place in Hostetler Chapel at 9 p.m., and tickets are free but required for entry. Attendance can also be counted as a chapel credit for students. On Friday, April 2nd, Campus Ministries will also be hosting a Good Friday service at 8 p.m. in Palmer Hall. The service will feature scripture, music, moments of reflection, and a powerful percussion and dance piece to help students remember the events of the day and fully understand the meaning of Jesus' death. Free tickets are also required for this event, and it can serve as a Campus Ministries credit for students as well. On Saturday, April 3rd, IAS will be hosting their annual Easter egg hunts where students have the opportunity to find some candy and possibly win some great prizes. The egg hunt for juniors and seniors will start at 11 a.m., with registration opening at 10:45. The hunt for sophomores and first years will begin at 1 p.m., with registration opening at 12:45. Feature prizes include everything from gift cards to flat-screen TVs. For more information, check out the IAS Instagram at Messiah IAS on Saturday. April 3rd, the Black Student Union will be hosting their annual Hair Expo in Hostetler Chapel from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Students are welcome to come and discuss all things surrounding textured hair and hair journeys. Spots are limited, and you can sign up using the link found in the bio of the Black Student Union's Instagram at Messiah_BSU. Saturday night, the Student Activities Board will be hosting an in-person viewing of the Switchfoot virtual concert. SAB plans to kick off the evening with Falcon Fest at 5 p.m., where students are invited to come and enjoy games, food, and prizes in the starry parking lot. The viewing will be held on Shoemaker Field, and Innova will open the concert at 7 p.m., followed by Switchfoot, who will perform at 8 p.m. Space on Shoemaker is limited, so make sure that you order your tickets through the Messiah ticket office. Although space is limited, students are also invited to enjoy the music in the starry parking lot or stream the concert for themselves. On Easter Sunday, April 4th, Campus Ministries will be hosting an Easter service at 9:30 a.m. on Shoemaker Field as we celebrate Jesus' resurrection from the dead. The service will be led by Dr. Doug Curry and will feature shouts of acclamation, movement, scripture, and prayer. Students are also invited to sing along with songs of hope and praise. Tickets for this service are also required, and attendance can count as a chapel credit for students. For more events happening around campus, check out the recent This Week at Messiah mass email. There are plenty of ways to get involved and stay busy during Holy Week. That's all we have for this week's campus calendar. I'm Josh McLeaf.
Thanks, Josh. Let's go to Chris Blakeman with this week's Falcon Features.
Welcome back to this week's Falcon Features. I'm Chris Blakeman. This week, we'd like to recognize Dr. Gladys Robolino for agreeing to serve as the new director of the Center for Public Humanities beginning in the 21-22 academic year. The Center for Public Humanities is an organization here at the university that is dedicated to partnering with the community and encourages having dynamic and meaningful conversations about civics and culture. Dr. Robolino is currently a professor of Spanish and the chair for the Modern Language Department here at Messiah. At the same time, Dr. Robolino frequently serves on the steering committee for the Center of Public Humanities. Being a department chair and an excellent administrator in all aspects, it only makes sense that she would go on to serve as director for the center. We wish Dr. Robolino all the best as she takes another step through her career. That's all for this week's edition of Falcon Features. I'm Chris Blakeman.
Thanks, Chris. What is your funniest college memory? We go to Riley Williams with this week's Falcon on the Street.
On this week's episode of Falcon on the Street, we're asking students what their funniest college memory is.
My favorite memory so far here at Messiah is late night racing spinny chairs in Boyer instead of studying.
My funniest college memory was we celebrated Flag Day in freshman year. This was American Flag Day. This was actually Mexican Flag Day, but we celebrated by taking all of our banner flags from our dorm rooms and we did 5 laps around the Whitmer Residence Hall, just running around with these flags, yelling and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So that was our Flag Day celebration.
My favorite college memory is when I accidentally dropped a belt that I was carrying around that I didn't want to wear anymore on the floor, and some guy picked it up and said, "I think you dropped this." And I think he thought it was a snake at first, and it was kind of just like a whole thing.
I would say that my funniest college memory so far is the fact that we had a crowd of like 500 people watching Hoffman go down, considering it's been the most interesting thing to happen here on campus since everything shut down last March.
That's all we have on this week's episode of Falcon on the Street. For YBTV, I'm Riley Williams.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Forests bring people together, feed the soul, and improve our well-being. Cleaning the water we need, the air we breathe, and making our climate livable. Fires and natural disasters devastate our forests each year. That's why the Arbor Day Foundation is working to replant millions of trees across the country. Visit arborday.org and see how you can help.
You're watching Falcon Update on YBTV.
Good evening and welcome back to Falcon Update live on YBTV. My name is Paul Callender and I am joined tonight by Michael Stefanchik. Michael is the university's Student Employee of the Year, but not only that, but he's also the Student Employee of the Year here at Messiah and also the state of Pennsylvania. He's pretty great, so congratulations for that. How are you tonight?
Oh, thanks for having me, Paul. I'm doing great. How about you?
Good to hear. Yeah, I can't complain. We were talking audio and stuff earlier. We need to have you on the show more often. We need to have you like behind the scenes and stuff.
That'll be great. Be a good time.
Yeah. So going into that, Michael, tell the folks at home, what is your job here on campus?
Sure. So I primarily work for conference and event services under Luke Nisley. We do a lot of work with the events on campus. Obviously with COVID it hasn't been as exciting this year, but we do the lighting, the sound, the visuals for all those events. And I also work under Dr. Douglas Curry, for campus ministries, doing the slides for them as well.
Excellent. Yeah. So I'm sure that's you get a lot of front row seats to all the events here at campus. So what does the average shift look like for you? What do you do? How many hours do you put in? Talk about that a little bit.
Sure, yeah, so it definitely varies because not every event is the same, which that's definitely an interesting part of the job. But I would say we usually show up an hour, sometimes even earlier than that. We get everything set up, get all the mic stands, all the mics, all that kind of stuff brought out onto the stage. And then we're usually there throughout the show providing any support for the participants and those on stage. And then usually we're there about an hour afterwards as well, just to tear everything down and reset it for whatever the next event is. So.
Yeah, great. And I'm sure it's a lot of work that a lot of people won't see particularly. I know, speaking as a guy who did a lot of production, not only in high school but here now, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make the show happen. That a lot of people, you show up and then that's to the extent of what they think. So Michael, there's probably a reason why you've been nominated for these amazing awards. Tell me, so how do you in particular go above and beyond in the work that you do? What is your word of advice for the audience, or just what do you do that's unique?
Sure. So I think a piece of that is I really enjoy what I do. Everybody says find what you enjoy doing, and it doesn't become work anymore. And I think that is 100% true, especially with both of these jobs. It doesn't feel like work to me. I've had a great time doing it. I've made a lot of great friends, peers, mentors along the way, and I think just that's all kind of tumbled into a great experience for myself and for those I work with. So
Yeah, excellent. I think that's really important also, just like the people we work with and just have fun doing it. So asking about going back to the Student Employee of the Year, how were you nominated for these titles? How does one become the Student Employee of the Year in the state of Pennsylvania? Not only that, but also here at Messiah. How did you get, what was the nomination process for that?
Sure, so I'll be quite honest with you. I don't know all the ins and outs of the process, but I do know my boss was definitely instrumental in that. He was the one that nominated me. And then beyond that, it's kind of like a black box. I'm not entirely sure. I assume there's a panel of individuals that go over the nominations, and then that gets forwarded on to the state level. But unfortunately, I can't give you too much on that, as I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. It's
sorry
okay.
about that.
No, it's okay. That's really interesting, though. I mean, I don't even know where I'd begin for that. How to even put myself out there, I guess. But yeah. So my question for you also is speaking as someone who clearly goes above and beyond, why should students do so? Why would I? So coming up next week is Student Employee Week. So why should students in really any job here on campus, why should you go above and beyond the work that you do? What is your piece of advice for not only how to go above and beyond, but why should you?
That's a good question. I mean, there's numerous reasons, pardon me. I mean, just taking it from a faith perspective, I think we're called, to serve as instrumental to the faith, and that's something I strongly believe in. And I think, you're obviously asked to do something, but you can always be looking for extra ways to, see how can I do something further? What can I do extra just to, not for any benefit, but just to, be helpful to that person, to serve them, and just, to express the love of Jesus to that person as well. So I think that's, at least for me personally, that's been the driving force for going up and beyond, I think.
Yeah, really powerful stuff there. I definitely agree with all. I think it's important, yeah, like you said, to just do it for the glory of God and just do it to serve other people. That's our calling as Christians here. I think that's, especially here at this school, I feel like it's really been encouraged. Do you feel like your faith's been encouraged by the way you're, by your work, by the stuff that you do?
Oh, 100%. I mean, working for campus ministries, that's probably cliche a little bit, but
yeah.
It's definitely been a great experience. It's been faith building in numerous ways. Getting connected with people as well, that's definitely been really helpful, because you develop some friends and you can discuss the God, Christianity as a whole, and obviously break that down. But 100%.
Good, yeah. Well, Michael, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for tonight. That is a wrap. So Student Employee Appreciation Week is the week of April 11th. So if you know an employee, make sure to thank them for the work they put in to keep the campus running. For myself, JC Seltzer, Brian Schermeyer, and all of our wonderful reporters, have a great night. We'll see you next week here on YBTV.